Hi, you're listening to the Big Sound Small Town podcast, where you will hear all the big sounds from a small town perspective. I am your host, Sandy Carlton, and this podcast is brought to you from our friends at Defiant Whiskey, distilled in beautiful Golden Valley, North Carolina.
Hey, this is Kyser George. I'm the guitar player with Shadowgrass.
That's good. I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah. Glad I ran into you.
Yeah, I've been following you guys around for a while.
Yeah, man.
You're young. How old are you?
I am 19 years old.
19 years old.
Yep, 19 years young. Man.
So you must have started playing guitar at a very early age.
Yeah, so my dad was in several bluegrass groups growing up, and, basically ever since I got home from the hospital when I was born,
Right.
The night I got home, it was a band practice. So,
Right.
I've been around it my whole life, and my grandpa loves it. He doesn't play, but he, turns a mean radio knob, as he would say.
Well, I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I mean, you have to have listeners or you can't have music.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but I got into it, and my dad was super supportive, and I started out playing bass with Shadowgrass, and kind of transitioned over to guitar a couple years later.
But obviously, you'd been playing a lot of guitar before that.
Yeah, and I'd come home from school, and I'd play guitar for 2 hours and Xbox for an hour, and I'd switch, and just something all my buddies would go to football and I would play guitar.
Did you know that you were going to be? Did you know bluegrass was going to be it? Because there's a lot of not bluegrass stuff in your playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's like bluegrass was kind of the first music I ever heard,
Right.
and it was always something I liked. Growing up, we grew up going to the Gallagher convention and all those, and that's actually kind of how Shadowgrass was formed, was going through those conventions and competing and stuff. But
Down to Buffalo, kind of the same way.
Right, yeah.
Through old traditional at Gallagher.
Yeah.
Are you from North Carolina?
Yes, I'm from Mount Airy.
Yeah.
North
So
Carolina.
that's I used to go to Tommy Gerald's house when I was a kid.
Yep.
So
Some great musicians from that area.
there is a lot of.
It's rich in it.
It really is. It's a really fine area to be.
Yeah, bluegrass has kind of always been my thing.
Well, then, so I guess you met the people in Shadowgrass.
Mm-hmm.
And did they have a guitar player at the time?
They did, yes, and he was with us for a while. He was a great guitar player, and how bands work.
I do know how it works.
Changing hands, and he's doing country stuff now, and then we kind of transitioned our sound a little bit because we were all listening to different stuff. I always tell people all the time, my top 3 guitar heroes is probably Clay Jones, Tony Rice, and the one people don't expect is John Mayer.
Well, John Mayer is fabulous, though. I mean, I always liked John.
Yeah.
But when he made me a double believer is when he went to work with the Grateful Dead.
Man, yeah.
Because he does Jerry so well.
Man, and he does it, and he does his own thing too, man. And it's we actually, me and my girlfriend flew out to the Spear.
Oh yeah.
And saw him there.
I know a guy. You may know his band or not. Do you know who Acoustic Syndicate is?
Yeah, man.
Okay, Brian was in here, the banjo player, yesterday.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're buddies. We hang out. We're from the same town.
Those guys are the best.
Oh,
man.
they're great.
I grew up listening
He
to them
went there too.
Yeah.
They flew out there and did the same thing.
Oh,
He told me it was the greatest show he'd ever seen. And he's seen tons of Dead shows.
Yeah, man. It's just the whole atmosphere of it. It's just, it's like watching a concert in the planetarium.
Did you know pretty early on that you were pretty much a step ahead of most guitar players?
Man, it's weird because, not starting out on guitar, I just kind of thought, I'd kind of work it up just to be something I could do on the side. And but no, man, I've just had really great people around home encouraging me. And
You didn't even take lessons anywhere, did you?
I took a month of lessons.
Yeah, I think I encourage everybody that. I mean, I think you can make a big step from where you are.
And it's funny because, at the lessons, my dad went with me. And my dad would have to learn it, from him. I couldn't learn straight from the teacher, so I'd have to, relay it through my dad and learn it. But, yeah, man, it's funny because, I took the month of lessons and I hated it. I was like, man, there's so much pressure, and it's just so I just went home and just listened to music and sat in my room and kind of figured things out.
Well, I'm telling you, you took yourself to a different level.
I appreciate that.
In fact, I'll just say it on the podcast. You're probably the hottest guitar player in bluegrass today.
Appreciate that.
It's,
yeah, thank you.
You'll see hopefully we'll see the IBMA stuff.
Yeah,
come
man.
around and give you awards soon.
It would be great, man. Yeah, it's all my heroes are on there. It's
Tell
cool.
me about Gallagher. How'd you get hooked up with that?
Man, so being from like Mount Airy, North Carolina,
Sure.
I grew up going to Merlefest.
Yep.
And Doc and Merle.
Yep.
It's the whole legendary thing. Doc played a Gallagher.
Yeah.
Rings like a bell.
Right.
Cool.
One of the finest guitars I ever owned was a Gallagher.
But they're just the best people, and they're really making super high quality instruments.
They were back making. Yeah, I think all guitar companies go through a down period. I don't, for whatever reason. But there's stuff that I hear now. Everything I hear that they have now.
Man,
great.
I'll go in there in the shop, and David Mathis is the guy. Man, he's just super great dude, and he's so knowledgeable about guitars and everything about it. And I just go in there, and they build a new one. They build a lot now.
Are they going to build one specifically for you?
Yeah, they have.
They have already.
Yep, that's the one
so
I'm
you've already
playing.
got the one you're playing.
Yep, it's kind of like
cool.
it's got a big sound hole, but it's like a.
Like a Tony Rice sound home.
Yep, but it's same model as Doc's.
That's great.
Just with a few different arrangements. But yeah, I heard Doc's guitar growing up, and legendary company that are building great stuff. And,
you guys are playing a lot, touring a lot. I mean,
yeah, man, I'm staying nice and busy. I know July, man, we played more shows than we were off.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure you did. Now let me ask you this: I've also seen you playing with some pretty incredible players, not Shadowgrass.
Yeah,
So
man.
you're getting to do some of that too.
It's been cool, man. I've kind of been in Nashville a lot, and kind of hanging with the guys from East Nashgrass, and just.
I mean, I
it's
think
everywhere
musically
there.
you can hang with about whoever you want
Man,
to.
I
It's some
appreciate
pretty.
that.
It's some
I
really,
try to.
It's some really fine picking. It's innovative. It's not what you hear every
man.
day.
I try to, it's weird because of like what I grew up listening to, and my dad was also in a beach music band.
Yeah.
So there's some like influences from that. My dad's a huge Rush fan.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yes, Geddy Lee on the guitar.
Yeah,
No,
man.
It's great stuff, and I really like. I think you're the new guitar face of bluegrass music.
Man, I
and
appreciate that.
Possibly acoustic music in general.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah,
glad that I got you in here now while
Yeah,
you're
man. It's great.
still able to do this. Where I don't have to beg you.
Yeah, man.
So what's the future hold?
Man, we've got a new record coming out in October, Shadowgrass.
Oh, that's great.
And it's
man.
I think it's 8 or 9 songs, but it's mostly original.
That's
which
good.
Is a good change from our first record.
It is, and that's one of the things as a band, I was thinking if these guys get some original stuff, they're headed to the top.
And we've started, incorporating that in our sets, and Luke and Madison are really great songwriters, and then we kind of all put our own taste
Stuff
on it. And
yeah.
It's a really great creative process.
That's great because it's that's kind of what sets them apart. I mean, you learn all. You guys do great covers. I mean,
Thanks, man.
You really do. But the thing that takes you from a bluegrass band to a playing places like this is original music.
Yeah. And we've really, our first record kind of got our name out
Sure
there in a
did.
way,
Oh, yeah.
and got us out there, and we did, we covered Rich Girl on there, and we just covered a Mayer tune, and
Yeah, which
just-
is really cool because it's not what you expect from a
right, and we just got together and did that, and just to have something out there. But this one really is.
I think that's really what attracted to me to you guys is Rich Girl, which I thought was a very different bluegrass.
Yeah, man.
It's a great song though.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it works really well, bluegrass. We haven't played that one a little bit, but
yeah.
we go back to it every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess you're seeing more of the world than you probably thought you would.
A lot more than Mount Airy.
Mount Airy, yeah, which is a big old world outside of Mount Airy.
There is a big old world, but yeah, man, it's been really cool, and music is
When
really
you were in high school, did you carry a guitar with you everywhere and play?
pretty much, and
Yeah.
they'd get me to come in and play,
Sure.
and I play bluegrass, and not really many people know about that.
Right.
My generation really.
Yeah, they don't,
It's kind of lost with them.
Yeah, that is kind of unusual.
But
Although
man, it's coming back around.
it is, I've noticed a lot of little kids, banjo 10 in there, teaching each other,
Yeah.
little kids.
It's great.
And they do a good job in North Carolina with
The jam program, yeah.
Jam program is the best thing that's happened to bluegrass
It
in
is.
years.
It really is.
You come up, you have a Wildflowers. I don't know if you know those girls, but they all
Yeah,
came
yeah.
up through jam program.
Our mandolin player was in jam.
See, I mean, it's just they learn at an early age. They get good teachers. It's a great thing. So it's good to see it going, because you don't see that happening in any other type of music.
You don't.
Bluegrass is
and
the only thing.
It's so, like, you know, some of my heroes are like the absolute nicest people in the world.
They are.
And it's only in this music can you find that.
You're right. It is an art form that is living, alive, and healthy, as opposed to a lot. Yeah, we'll take beach music, since your dad did that. That is a dying art. Kids don't learn to shag.
No.
You know, there's and that's the whole basis really for playing beach music.
Yeah.
The guys that I've known that had beach bands over the years, top 40 bands now. You know, because they can't just
bring it back, man.
Well, shaggers are all dead. I hate to say
that.
You know,
Man,
they're all my age, but you know,
and that's the thing. Like, when people thought bluegrass would be there, and
they did
and
think
now
that.
it's, man, that's what I've learned mostly about traveling all these places. Is like, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And I used to have this theory that North Carolina and South Carolina are completely different. South Carolina used to be void of bluegrass, period.
Yeah.
You know, North Carolina loaded with it.
Oh, man.
North Carolina, Virginia, that's bluegrass.
There's like a bluegrass band every other house.
Yeah, there is, and that's a good thing. And I live in Shelby, so guess what?
Yeah.
There's a banjo player, and a good, not just a banjo player, a good banjo player.
Man.
You know, drops. You can shake a tree, and like 3 of them will drop out and be as good as anybody you've ever met.
Yeah,
so,
dude, that's how it is.
But you know, it's funny. Then right across the line in South Carolina, there's still not a load of them from there.
And there's some places that are just now catching on, man. The place that surprised me the most is like Colorado.
Colorado's loaded, though.
Man, it's like every time we go out there, it's just like.
Have you guys done Telluride yet?
Not yet, man.
Y'all going
that is what we've done. We got to do the Renewal Festival out there, and that was a great experience. And we've done the Winter Wondergrass and Steamboat, and that was like
that's really
cold, but man, it was cool. There was like a snow tornado.
You guys have an agent and all now?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's the only way. I mean, you reach a certain level that you can only go so far without.
We've got a great team behind us, and we're just going to keep doing what we do. Yeah.
Future looks bright.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to come to do this.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Glad I bumped into you.
All right.